girl appears and she's like OP like crazy. So I'm gonna guess that Pandora is an isekai protagonist, right? Because she has the OP powers. But it's like Arnold. So she's like, oh, I can't die. But I mean, I don't know. She seems to be the true antagonist, whatever I call it, the real bad guy, like true, really evil bad guy, the power of everything or something. They didn't really explain her that much, right? She just appears and it's like, oh, I can't get killed. So we saw her immediately, of course, getting impaled, and that was like, whatever, I can just heal. And then later on, he's like, I explode you, and he's like, oh, whatever, I'm back. And then she also managed to heal Billy's arm, right? She used to give him an arm back, and she managed to like, I guess like, I don't know, teleport to where Emelia was, right? And she was running away from her. So escaping her seems to be pretty hard because she has like some kind of, I don't know, godlike ability to also teleport or something. So yeah, she seems to have everything, right? And I mean, easily seems to be the strongest character in anime, right? From like a power level. I don't know. I mean, yeah, never seen it before, right? And you know, I'm an anime only guy, so I don't really know what she can do. But she's really, yeah, like presented as, I would say, as the strongest character so far. I mean, we saw her die twice, right? And just immediately return like nothing happened. Especially because when he's like just exploding her body, she's like, oh, whatever, and have some kind of like, I don't know, teleport abilities and floating or something, and it's like everything. So kind of like a curveball bad guy appearing, right? And they don't really. It's not that the episode really explained how she's doing anything, right? She just have all these powers, and she's just amazingly powerful. I don't really know. It seemed to me, though, I said it earlier in the reaction part, but it seemed to me that she most very likely killed Emelia's other parents, right? We had Emelia, because we know that Emelia is of course raised by, of course, Mama Fortuna is her real mom, right? But you know what I mean? Like she had other parents, right? That presumably got killed before this flashback, right? And given how Mama Fortuna is like, you leave my kids alone, right? So you, damn you, Pandora. I think that it feels like she probably killed her first parents too, right? Probably. And then she was like, that's how, Mama knew her, right? Probably. I feel like they didn't really say that, but I just felt that that's kind of like implied it. Just, oh yeah, she's back. This Pandora woman, right? And they're probably hiding her over there and her cult and so on. But unfortunately, they didn't really explain what she could do. She was just like, oh, I'm just immortal or something. The fight was kind of strange in that sense, right? Because Beetlejuice, he opens up the power, which gives him, of course, he opens the Pandora box, and he gets the powers of the hands, right? He gets the curse with the hand thing, and and then they had this fight, and it was kind of a funny fight I felt, because I felt the fight was kind of similar to something like a kid's fight at school, right? And I mean the actual fight, I mean like a child fight, when they're like, I have the power of 3 fire blades. Oh, I can send lightning bolts, because it's kind of like, I am hitting you with my invincible fist, right? And the other guy's like, I have a shield. Because, yeah, he's like, I'm sending you my attack waves. And it's like, oh, I'm using a magical protection. Yeah, it was kind of like, they're more like play fighting. Like, oh, I can just do this shit. It's a really weird fight, right? Because it's not like something in another anime where they're like, oh, I have fireballs, so I can throw ice magic. It was like, no, they're both like, invincible magic attack at your face. Badass scene, though. He's like, I'm not gonna use... I'm gonna stand there and fight, right? I'm gonna just pretend that I'm fine. Emelia, you run away. I'm fine. I can walk. Yeah. So that thing is like incredibly powerful. You just, because he even. I mean, you could argue that maybe he cut his leg too shallow. Maybe he had to cut his leg further up. But basically, it seemed that just one touch, right, and his whole body is like burning up, or he's like cursed, or whatever. So, yeah, that black serpent seemed incredibly dangerous. Then one little touch, and I can imagine Subaru getting killed by this a few times later on in the story. I can imagine Subaru meeting this thing and getting killed a few times, right, and explaining the pain or something of being burned or cursed or whatever it is. I think it's interesting though is that even if he looks crazy here, right, Beetlejuice is like, I'm gonna go into my crazy form and be crazy. It didn't really feel, though, honestly, he actually went crazy from unlocking the powers. Even though they were like, oh, you're a moron, you can't do that power, it's gonna make you, lose your mind, right? It didn't actually feel like he actually went crazy. He was still like, I'm just gonna fight you guys with this power. So, I would guess, right, that actually what makes him go crazy is probably next episode. I mean, his love is probably get killed, right? They might make him kill her or something like that, right? Like force him to kill her or something. You know, some kind of torture, something like that, right? That's probably what makes him go crazy. But this is the case he went crazy from unlocking the power itself, even though it might be a part of it, right? But I actually felt like he actually still was himself, even though he looked like he was gonna go into this like a madness form immediately. But actually, kind of after the powers was after this scene, he seemed to be you know, rational and so on, right? So yeah, I'm gonna guess something more is gonna happen to him, right? And for some reason he's gonna join the witch cult because, you know, reason they're gonna be like, oh, you kill your love interest and, you know, you betrayed and so on. Yeah, let's all, yeah. So they're gonna force him to go crazy, right? And clearly then, again back to Pandora, she's, I guess, the witch cult leader, right? Like the actual leader, because the other people, of course, are like, how say, her. You have all the witch cult people, right? The lackeys, and then we have the different, of course, sins, and they have, you know, the higher rank and so on. But I think the episode here clearly implies that she's the leader, right? The actual, the true leader of the witch cult, and of course she's gonna make Beetlejuice go crazy, I guess, and then, you know, recruit him into being one of her, you know, commanders, right? Or, yeah, like the commandment, her partner, and I guess one day poor Subaru has to defeat her somehow. I said last week, I think that it's obvious to me, and I keep saying it, right? But I said this last week that Emelia will open the door, right? Pandora is at the door now, for whatever reason. So I guess that's her plan, right? It feels like Pandora probably also cared much about, you know, her mom and so on. She's like, I want to open the gate, right? For some reason, she probably wants her to open the Pandora's gate, right? In a way, that's probably why she's there to begin with. And by doing so, this can't be frozen. I think that, for me, yeah, it feels like a no-brainer. I mean, I said earlier last week, we've seen the OVA, we've seen Emelia being frozen, growing up in this, like, you know, how I say it, ice country, right? And now it's like a forest, but if you open up this gate, this country probably be frozen, and that, I guess, is Pandora's agenda for some reason. Part of her agenda. Pandora probably has, of course, a bigger grand scheme, right? Obviously, like a bigger grand scheme to conquer the world or whatever, right? But she, but the part of opening this gate here to freeze this country is one of her steps, I guess, for, I don't know, world domination or something. but it's probably something like that, right? That's why she's there. And I feel next episode we're gonna see Emelia open this door, and then of course the country gets frozen, and she gets frozen, and so on. Right? All the ass get frozen, and then we saw in OVA she's like living in this, you know, ice frozen forest. It's like fixing the elf statues, the frozen people, and so on, right? So it's something like that, and I think that's something I guessed last week too. Not the Pandora part, but I'm usually opening the gate, right, to get that. Anyway, the last part I want to talk about, though. Oh, Mama didn't die, she's Puck! But then Puck kind of died, but come on, my mom is Puck. My mom is Puck, come on, because in the end here, she's like, my little Leah, I'm gonna come back and protect you. She's basically, she gave the Puck speech in the end of it. I mean, there was like, you know, 5 minutes of them crying, like, I will always love you, and I'm protecting you, so on, right? And then we see in the end, she's like, because she has to call him Leah before, and suddenly, Mama Fortuna is like, I'm in, you know, I will come and protect you, Leah. I will always be there for you, Leah, right? And we see, of course, Emelia having all the spirits and so on, right? And I guess last week the tiny ones will be packed, but no. Mom, of course, is gonna die, obviously. Mom is gonna die here in the next episode. And then she's gonna turn into a spirit, because I guess you died to the spirit. Mom is very powerful, and then Mom is gonna be like, I'm Puck. Come on! And that's why Mom is like so sad, because she's like, Puck is like, I tried to find you, you know, for all these years, and I couldn't find you. Come on. Like, Mom isn't dead, she's Puck, and then Puck is not dead either. but then Puck left her too. So, but come on, Puck is clearly Mom. This here, I was like, oh, she has to be Mom. Come on, Puck is Mom, you know, because she's like, she's my girl, right? She's my daughter. I'm her mama, you know. I'm kind of like, that's my girl. And then she spoke exactly like Puck in this scene. That I am absolutely convinced that Mama didn't die. Or I guess she did die because she's like a spirit. But Mama is alive as is in her next form, right? And then Puck left her too. But Puck is coming back, you know. But I think definitely that was, I think, was heavily implied. Think about it, Puck has that gray fur, right? They all have the gray fur. They all have gray hair. Goddamn, it's Pandora too. Everyone is gray in this anime. It's a big, yeah, like the creator loves people, girls with gray hair. That's like that's the thing, right? But no, come on, she's Puck. Definitely. This, you know, the punky Puck is clearly Mama. I think it's obvious. As soon as I saw this scene, I was like, oh no, it's Puck. I get it now. I mean, I kind of guessed it earlier, but I was like, it could be Puck, but in this scene, which is like, Lee, I'm coming back for you. Right? Oh, okay, I see. Mama is Puck. So, that's, come on, clearly, this is Puck. This makes perfect sense. Because he was trying to find her, and the way she, I mean, earlier, it's like, it could be Mom, it could be Puck. But then again here, in this scene, she spoke exactly like Puck, right? And then thinking about it, she has that grey hair. Her body is actually pretty similar to Puck, right? Yeah, her body shape and so on. She's kind of like a, human Puck, right? Don't you see, guys? But anyway, that's the review. But yeah, she's clearly Puck. She's clearly Puck. Come on, this is clearly Puck. Obviously, my mother is Puck. Come on, definitely, clearly. Anyways, subscribe to the like button. I'll see you guys today with the video healer. That's the next video, and that's a family-friendly anime, definitely. It's a weird anime. Honestly, I will admit I'm watching Video Healer just to see how crazy it gets, right? I'm like, is it crazy? And then we might do Beastars later tonight, because Beastar is kind of like random and stuff, so on, right? So Beastar, wherever it's at. But yeah, Video Healer next thing, and we'll see you guys and have a great